Stories of Journey to the West, Chapter 53.
We're picking up right after the Tang monk and his disciples have finally escaped the demon in Jinsen Cave.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
The very next thing, they run smack into the local mountain god and the earth deity.
Right, just outside the cave area.
And this is where it gets interesting right away. It's that immediate aftermath. And these deities, they don't just show up, they bring food.
The food Sun Wukong went to get earlier.
Exactly, the very same stuff. But they also deliver a message, and it's pretty blunt.
They really don't pull any punches, do they? The deity basically tells Tripitaka, look, you got into this mess because you didn't listen.
Didn't listen to Sun Wukong's advice, strayed from where they were told to stay, and boom, right into the demon's trap.
And caused Sun Wukong just immense trouble getting them out.
And this, it sparks a really key conversation. Tripitaka hears this coming from a deity, and he actually expresses real regret.
Yeah, he owns it. He says, basically, you're right, the danger we faced. That came because I didn't follow Sun Wukong's instructions.
He mentions the circle, doesn't he? That protective boundary Sun Wukong drew.
He does, and Sun Wukong jumps on that. He contrasts his protective circle.
By ignoring the good boundary, they fell right into the bad one. A lesson in, listening, I suppose.
And discernment, maybe. Knowing which lines are safe.
Yeah, that too. Then Sun Wukong gives them the lowdown on just how hard it was to free them. He explained, he threw everything at it.
Right. He mentions calling on heavenly backup, using water, fire, even Buddhist spells or elixirs, all the big guns.
Huge resources, but none of it worked. The source makes it clear. This demon's trap, that circle, it just stopped everything cold.
Everything Sun Wukong knew how to do, basically. He was completely stumped.
Until he got a tip-off. A hint from the Buddha's arhats, no less. And the hint reveals the real issue. It turns out that this demon wasn't just some random powerful monster.
Right.
It was actually a blue ox, belonged to Lao Tzu.
From the top of the Taoist pantheon.
Right, so Tripitaka hears all this, the true identity, Lao Tzu's involvement, Sun Wukong's massive effort, and he's just, deeply grateful.
And promises he'll definitely listen next time.
Then there's this small but really interesting detail about the food.
Oh, yeah, the hot food.
Yeah.
Sun Wukong notices it's still steaming.
Which is weird, right? Since he collected it ages ago, he asks the deity about it.
And the answer.
The deity says they kept it warm for them, specifically because they knew Sun Wukong had succeeded, that the rescue was complete.
Huh, that's kind of touching, isn't it? Like divine beings were waiting, keeping the kettle on, so to speak. That's a nice touch of care.
It does. A little bit of grace after the ordeal. So the scene ends with them finishing the surprisingly warm meal, thanking the deities, and heading off again.
Probably thinking the worst is over for a bit.
Famous last words on this journey. And as they travel, the description of the landscape, it's just beautiful, isn't it?
Absolutely gorgeous. Early spring, perfect weather. You get these images. Purple swallows, yellow orioles, blossoms everywhere, like embroidered brocade on the ground.
Wow.
And the mountains are all green and lush, like piled up cushions. Green plums, old cypress trees. It sounds incredibly peaceful.
Almost too peaceful, like a setup.
Exactly. It sort of lulls them, you feel. And while they're taking all this in, they come across a river. Clear, cold-looking water.
Okay, a river. Need to cross. So they look for a ferry, presumably.
They do. Spot some houses nearby, figure there must be a service. And Pigsy, well...
He's not the patient type.
Not at all. Starts yelling for a boat straight away. Impatient as ever.
And does one appear?
Surprisingly, yes.
Yeah.
A boat comes out from behind some willows. The text gives these really specific, almost poetic details about it. Short oars dividing waves, light scull gliding on ripples. Just a simple ferry, oiled hull, flat deck.
Seems normal enough. But you mentioned things get weird. Is it the boatman?
Well, it's a boat operator. And yes, here's the first clue. Something's different. It's a woman, an older woman.
Ugh.
Operating a ferry.
Yeah. Described as an old skirted figure. Lots of detail on her clothes. Patched jacket, stitched skirt, sturdy shoes, head covering. Hands look rough, face wrinkled. This looks like she's worked hard all her life.
Yeah.
But then her voice. It's described as delicate and fine, like an oriole. A real contrast. And even Wukong, who's seen pretty much everything, is apparently surprised that it's a woman running the ferry.
Okay. That is unusual for the context, so it hints they're somewhere different.
Definitely signals that the usual rules might not apply here. Anyway, they cross the river, no problem. They pay the woman, she takes the money without fuss, and just quietly heads back.
All seems fine.
The Tang monk feels thirsty after the crossing. Makes sense. He asks Pigsy to use the alms bowl and fetch some water from the river.
Just a drink of water.
Seems innocent enough. And Pigsy, he's thirsty too after yelling for the boat and everything. So after the master drinks, Pigsy takes a big gulp himself.
not half a sitchin later, so maybe less than a couple of hours,
Yeah.
both the Tang monk and Pigsy start groaning. They're riding along, and suddenly they're hit with this awful pain in their stomachs. And it gets worse, fast.
What kind of pain?
It sounds horrific, actually. Their stomachs start to swell up, and the feeling inside is described as moving blood clots or flesh masses, just constantly rolling and writhing. Unbearable pain. They have to stop.
Good grief. Doubled over, I imagine.
Completely. Doubled over, desperate. They look around for help and see a village house nearby.
Okay, maybe someone there knows what's going on.
They find an old woman outside, spinning hemp. Wukong, since he didn't drink the water and is fine, goes up to explain what happened, this sudden terrible illness.
And her reaction? Is she helpful?
Well, this is where it gets truly baffling. The old woman and some other women who come out, they just laugh. They seem amused by the monk's agony.
What? Laughing?
Yeah.
That's cruel.
That's what Wukong thinks. He gets furious, naturally, starts getting fierce, his usual intimidation tactics, which scares them. But the old woman manages to calm him down, and then she explains.
Okay, the explanation. This must be good.
It is wonderfully bizarre. She tells them they've arrived in the Western Liang Women's Kingdom. A place, she says, with no men at all.
No men. Okay. And the river.
Ah, the river. It has a name. It's called the Fetus River.
The Fetus River, seriously. Okay, please explain what that means.
Well, according to this old woman, drinking water from that river, especially if you're, say, over 20 years old, it makes you pregnant.
Ew, what?
It makes you pregnant. That's apparently how the Women's Kingdom keeps going. They even have a specific place nearby, the Fetus Examining Well.
A fetus examining well.
Right. You drink the water, wait 3 days, go look in the well. If you see a double reflection of yourself, congratulations, you're pregnant, and you'll give birth soon.
So, the old woman's diagnosis for the Tang monk and Pigsy is?
Yep. Completely blunt. She just lays it out. You drank the Fetus River water, you're pregnant, and you're going to have babies. Simple as that. And no, hot soup won't help, which Wukong might have been thinking.
Wow. Okay, take a breath. The Tang monk, a Buddhist monk sworn to celibacy, purity, suddenly pregnant. How does he react?
Utter shock. The text says he's greatly startled and loses color. Just completely dismayed, as you can imagine.
And Pigsy, oh boy.
What about Pigsy? Pigsy's reaction is, well, it's pure Pigsy, but dialed up to 11. He's in agony, right? But his panic is very specific. He's yelling, "We're men. Where's the birth canal supposed to open? How will it get out?"
Oh my God, the practicalities.
Exactly. The sheer biological impossibility is freaking him out. He even makes this horrible, kind of darkly funny prediction. Says it'll probably burst open like a ripe melon, or maybe it'll split a hole under his ribs and drill its way out.
That's graphic.
Yeah.
And hilarious in a terrible way.
It really is. He's just beside himself, crying, convinced he's feeling labor pains already, twinges, he calls them. And he's actually begging Wukong desperately to go find some midwives because he thinks it's starting.
Midwives. For him and the Tang monk?
Right.
And what about Sand Monk? Is he just standing there?
Sand Monk is trying to be helpful, but he can't resist teasing Pigsy a bit. Tells him not to wriggle so much, or he might mistake his nurturing intestines and cause problems. Or maybe just pop his water.
Oh, Sandy. Always the calm, slightly sarcastic one. The whole situation is just profoundly absurd, isn't it?
Completely. Two male protagonists facing magical pregnancy. It's horror, but it's also got this vein of dark comedy running through it. It totally upends what they expect the danger to be.
Yeah, it's not a demon this time. It's biology gone mad. So amidst all this chaos, does anyone ask about a cure?
The Tang monk does. He manages to ask the old woman if there's any medicine, something to induce an abortion. A practical question in an insane situation. But the old woman says, nope, medicine is useless. There is only one cure. Water from a specific spring.
Okay, Hope, what's the spring?
It's called the Abortion Spring. Located in the Gore Cave on Jiang Mountain.
The abortion spring in the Gore Cave, the names aren't subtle, are they? So they just need to get some water from there.
Ah, well, if only it were that simple. See, there's always a catch on this journey, isn't there?
Always. What is it this time?
The cave and the spring have been taken over by a Taoist priest named Rui Zhangxian.
Rui Zhangxian, okay.
He's renamed the place Juxian Nunnery, and he guards that spring water like a hawk. And he doesn't give it away for free.
Let me guess, he charges.
Exorbitantly. The old woman says he demands all sorts of stuff. Festive gifts, sheep, wine, fruit platters. Basically a fortune for just one bowl of the water. Things poor traveling monks could never afford.
So the only cure is behind a paywall run by this Taoist guy.
Pretty much. The old woman's final advice is basically, you can't afford it, so just resign yourselves to giving birth.
What a nightmare.
It adds that layer of frustration, doesn't it? It's not just magic. It's complicated by human greed.
But Wukong, he hears there is a cure, even if it's guarded. How does he react?
For Wukong, knowing there's a solution, even a difficult one, is enough. He's actually filled with joy just hearing it exists.
Because now it's a problem he can tackle.
Exactly. A task. He immediately asks how far it is. Only 30 lives, about 15 kilometers. Peanuts for him.
Yeah.
He declares he's going to go get the water right now.
Action hero mode engaged. Does he give any instructions before he zooms off?
He does. Tell Sand Mike, guard the master carefully. And if these village women start laughing or being disrespectful again,
Yeah.
use the old scare the tiger routine. Basically, flash a bit of power, remind them who they're dealing with.
Good plan. And the old woman, what does she think of this?
She seems impressed by his determination, maybe sees his power. She gives him the big clay pot to carry the water in, and she asks if he can to bring back some extra for the villagers.
Ah, so this fetus river issue must affect them too sometimes.
Seems like, yeah, maybe accidental pregnancies they don't want. Anyway, Wukong takes the pot, steps outside.
Cloud time.
Cloud time. Just ascends straight up into the sky, zooms off.
And how do the villagers react to seeing Wukong just fly away?
It completely changes everything instantly. Seeing him fly, they stop laughing, stop mocking. They become totally reverent.
Really?
Yeah, they start bowing and worshiping the Tang monk and Pigsy, calling them arhats and bodhisattvas, enlightened beings. Suddenly, these two poor pregnant sufferers are holy figures.
Wow. Just showing his power shifted their whole perspective.
Wukong sets off, right? Uses his somersault cloud straight to Jiang Mountain. No messing around.
He's focused.
And when he gets there, the description of the place, it's actually quite beautiful, isn't it? The text calls it a good mountain. He even compares it favorably to famous spots like Tiantai or West Hua Mountain.
Oh, absolutely. The description is really vivid. You get lines like, Yuna, Yurna, embroidered flowers, blue wild grass, sort of painting this picture of natural tapestry.
Nice.
And the water, shin shin, like connected streams falling, lazy clouds hanging in the creeks, plus the landscape itself. Deep valleys thick with vines, distant peaks covered in trees. It sounds, well, idyllic.
It really does. Like the perfect, serene place you'd expect to find a magical spring needed for a spiritual problem. Pure, untouched, maybe.
And that's what's so interesting, isn't it? This beautiful, peaceful setting. It almost feels like it's setting you up. You expect harmony, but like so often on this journey, the reality of who's there, who controls things, it can be completely different.
A bit of misdirection, maybe?
Could be. It suggests the real challenge isn't going to be climbing the mountain, it's something. Or someone else, entirely.
Okay, so Wukong's taking this all in, and he spots like a manor or an estate on the shady side of the mountain, and then he hears a dog barking, "Alive!"
A sign of habitation.
Right. So he lands, goes closer, and finds an old Taoist just sitting outside.
Our first point of contact. The potential gatekeeper.
Exactly. And Wukong, he can be polite when he wants something. He explains the situation, his master, the unfortunate pregnancy from the river water, the need for the abortion spring from Poor Cave.
Lays it all out.
Yeah, and he mentions he was told to find Rui Zhengxian and basically asks the Taoist, "Can you help me out here?"
And the Taoist's response, it's key. He says, yes, this is the right place. Poor Cave, though it's now called Juxiunu, the Gathering Immortal Temple or Hermitage.
Okay, good start.
And then he reveals that he himself is the head disciple. So, boom, Wukong's right there at the doorstep of the person in charge of the spring.
Perfect. Or maybe not so perfect, because here comes the first snag, right? So the disciple doesn't just say, "Oh, sure, right this way."
No, he immediately asks Wukong for
a gift, payment, a bribe, basically.
pretty much a flower red wine gift. It's transactional. And Wukong, being a monk on a quest, naturally says, sorry, traveling light, got nothing.
Yeah, monks don't usually carry bribe money.
And this just hits you with a dose of reality. Accessing this magical, maybe life-saving water, it's not free. The disciple makes it crystal clear. His master, he has never given this water away for free.
So the urgency, the spiritual nature of the quest, doesn't matter.
Apparently not to this immortal, or at least not to his disciple. There's a cost. It immediately challenges that idea of easy spiritual help.
Okay, so Wukong's broke. Plan B. He tries using his name, his reputation. He tells the disciple, hey, I'm Sun Wukong, Tang Sansang's disciple. He even quotes a saying, something like personal connections or maybe just knowing the right people is more powerful than an imperial order.
He's implying his name alone should be enough. Maybe even get him the whole well.
Classic Wukong. If force doesn't work, maybe fame will.
It's definitely one of his go-to strategies. So the disciple goes inside the Su to tell his master, finds the immortal just chilling, playing the kin. Again, this image of peace and refinement.
But that shatters pretty quickly when the disciple mentions the name Sun Wukong.
Instantly. The source describes this incredibly strong, immediate reaction. Oh, you. Anger just boils up from his heart. Evil surges in his gut.
Whoa. That's not just being annoyed, that's pure rage, triggered just by the name.
Exactly. It tells you right away, this is deeply personal, there's some serious history here, a major grudge. He doesn't even pause. The text says he gets up, takes off his plain clothes, puts on his formal Taoist robes, and grabs his weapon.
His weapon, what is it?
The wish-fulfilling hook. Sounds kind of ironic, given his mood.
Yeah, wish fulfilling doesn't quite match evil growing in his guts.
Not at all. He's coming out ready for a fight purely because he heard the name Sun Wukong.
And the description of him when he comes out, it's intense. Definitely not your average peaceful immortal.
No, it's quite fearsome, actually. The text gives us lots of details. He's got a star crown, a robe of red golden thread, fancy shoes, a jeweled belt, standard immortal gear, maybe?
But then
look at the rest. His hook weapon, it's got a sharp point, a long handle described like a python or a dragon. He's got bright phoenix eyes, okay, but also sharp steel teeth.
Steel teeth. Okay, getting less friendly.
Right. A red mouth, a beard like fire, and short, messy red hair.
So, despite the immortal title, he looks, well, kind of demonic. Definitely intimidating.
Precisely. It confirms Wukong's not dealing with some benevolent hermit happy to share his magic water. This guy looks ready for trouble.
Wukong, surprisingly, still starts out polite. Says he's been busy with the quest, lost touch with old friends, that sort of thing.
Trying to feel him out, maybe? But the immortal cuts right to the chase. He confirms Wukong's identity, then just unloads the reason for his fury.
Which is?
He reveals who he is, the Bull Demon King's brother.
No way. Bull Demon King, Wukong's old frenemy.
The very same. And he says he got word from his brother that Wukong harmed his nephew, the Saint Infant Great King.
Red Boy.
That's the one. So this immortal was already nursing this grudge, looking for payback for what happened to Red Boy, and Wukong just conveniently shows up on his doorstep asking for a favor.
Wow, talk about bad timing. So this whole thing isn't random at all. It's direct fallout from the Red Boy incident.
Exactly. It just slams home how interconnected everything is on this journey. Past actions, family ties, old grudges, they keep cropping up in the most unexpected places.
These things have long shadows.
They really do. And it shows that even Wukong's victories, like getting Red Boy under Guanyin's control, can create new enemies and obstacles through these family connections.
So Wukong tries to smooth things over, right? He plays the old friend card, reminds the immortal he and Bull Demon King were sworn brothers, says he didn't even know where the immortal lived to visit.
Trying a bit of damage control.
Yeah, but his main argument is about Red Boy. He insists Red Boy actually got a good deal out of it. He's with Guanyin Bodhisattva now, became a Sudhani of Ease. Wukong even claims that he and the other disciples are, they're not even as well off spiritually as Red Boy is now. So why be angry?
And this is such a fascinating clash of perspectives. Wukong genuinely seems to see it as an upgrade for Red Boy's spiritual advancement, prestigious position.
Sounds reasonable from his point of view.
But the immortal, he completely rejects it. Calls Wukong a wicked monkey, basically. And he asks this really pointed question. Isn't being a king free to do as you please better than being a slave or servant to someone else?
Oh, so he sees it completely differently.
It's a total rejection of Wukong's spiritual framing.
So negotiation clearly failed.
Utterly. The immortal doesn't waste any more time talking. He just attacks Wukong with that hook.
And Wukong defends with his staff, of course. He actually still tries to ask for the water while fighting.
Persistence. You have to give him that, but the immortal's not having it. He demands a proper fight. 3 rounds. If Wukong wins, he gets water. If Wukong loses, well, revenge for Red Boy. Death.
High stakes for a drink of water.
Very. The fight kicks off, and the text uses some great imagery. The hook is like strong scorpion poison, Wukong's staff, fierce as a dragon's peak, they're going at it, hooking, striking. After about 10 rounds, the text says the immortal is outmatched. Can't withstand the great sage. His strength fails. Whore him.
So Wukong wins the fight.
He wins the direct combat, yeah. The immortal turns and runs away up the mountain, dragging his hook.
Okay. So Wukong chases him down.
Nope. Wukong's priority isn't beating the immortal into submission, it's getting that water for Tripitaka. Mission-focused.
Right. The water. So he's back to the Thou.
Exactly. Back to the Juxianu. But, another problem.
What now?
The disciple, probably seeing his master retreat, has locked the door.
Locked door. Not much of an obstacle for Sun Wukong.
Not at all. Wukong just kicks it down, finds the disciple cowering near the well. The disciple sees the staff, understandably panics, and bolts.
Okay. Coast is clear. What about the well?
Wukong spots a bucket right there. A bolt. Perfect. Success seems so close. He's beaten the immortal, kicked down the door, scared off the disciple, found the bucket.
He's finally going to get the water.
You'd think so. But this is where the immortal shows he's maybe smarter than he seemed in the direct fight. He comes back.
Oh, round 2.
Not exactly. He doesn't charge in for another fight. Instead, he uses his hook in this really clever, tactical way. Just as Wukong leans over to draw the water, the immortal sneaks up and uses the hook to trip him by the foot.
Trips him.
With the hook.
Yeah. Sends Wukong tumbling face first onto the ground.
Ouch. That's kind of brilliant, actually. Not fighting strength with strength. Totally. It's about disrupting the action of getting the water. Even when Wukong jumps up, ready to fight again, the immortal doesn't really engage him head-on. He just positions himself right by the well entrance, using his presence and maybe the threat of the hook to block access. Hey, poker, yeah! He physically prevents Wukong from lowering the bucket.
So Wukong can't even get the bucket in the well.
Right. The immortal is just denying access, so Wukong tries to multitask, fend him off with the staff in his left hand, while trying to work the bucket with his right.
That sounds tricky.
And the immortal sees his chance, he does it again, hooks Wukong's foot again, yanks him off balance, and this time, bucket, rope and all, right down into the well.
Wow. Okay, that's actually pretty effective.
And the immortal runs off again, probably not wanting another direct confrontation.
But the situation's changed now, hasn't it?
Fundamentally, Wukong doesn't have a bucket anymore. And crucially, he knows the immortal can just keep using that hook trick to trip him or block him every time he tries to get near the water. Brute force won the battle, but clever tactics are winning the war over the well access.
He's been outplayed at the objective itself.
Exactly. So with Wukong standing there, bucketless, and realizing he can't do this alone, not under these conditions. Better go get a helper.
What a roller coaster. He decides he needs backup.
Get back to the village.
He's taking Shasang.
And the old woman helps him out again.
She does. Super helpful. Gives him a bucket and a rope to get the water from the well. She then reveals something. Well, pretty disturbing. A danger they just managed to avoid by ending up at her house.
What was that?
Well, she explains her family is older. They don't have the same desires as the younger families nearby.
Okay.
And if they gone to a younger woman's house and, resisted any unwanted advances, the text mentions intercourse specifically.
Uh-oh.
The consequences would have been, lethal.
Lethal. How?
She says they would have been killed, their flesh cut up and made into 80. These little aromatic sachets.
Wow. That's incredibly grim. And Pigsy, how does he react when he hears about this sachet threat?
Oh, speak Pigsy. He's basically like, well, I was probably safe anyway.
Why is that?
He says everyone else is a, fragrant, perfect sachet material.
Yeah.
But him, he's just a smelly pig. So even if they cut him up, he'd just stink. Pretty much his logic. He figures his smelliness saved him from that particular horror. Classic self-deprecation mixed with, pig reality.
Okay, so a very pragmatic, if slightly gross, outlook from Pigsy there. Okay, so Monkey and Shasang head off towards this abortion spring.
Rui Zhangxian seems kind of fixated on one small victory he had. Yeah. He sees Monkey King coming back, knows the Tang monk is pregnant and desperate. He figures, okay, Monkey's desperate. I tripped him before. This is my chance. He's feeling pretty confident, maybe overly so.
Okay, so Monkey gets there. Does he try talking first? Like, hey, we need this water.
But the immortal claims the spring is his private property, says even emperors and prime ministers would have to pay tribute. And besides, he calls Monkey King an enemy, so no water for you.
What happens then?
Then it's on. straight into a massive fight. The description's intense. Flying sand, rolling stones, darkness, dust, making the sun and moon sad. It's epic chaos.
But Monkey King's smart. He's not just brawling, is he? He has a plan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's using a classic strategy here. Chill, lure the tiger away from the mountain.
So keep the immortal busy.
Exactly. Engage him in this huge, flashy fight. Draw him further and further away from the temple gate. And more importantly, away from the well itself.
Brilliant. Creating an opening for Sha Seng?
Precisely.
Yeah.
While Monkey's got the immortal completely distracted, Sha Seng grabs the bucket and ropes and slips right into the temple.
Does he run into any trouble inside?
Yeah, briefly. The immortal's disciple tries to stop him at the well.
How does Sha Seng deal with that?
He uses his monster-subduing staff and whack, breaks the disciple's left arm.
Ouch. But doesn't he stop there?
He does. And this is significant. The text specifically says he spares the disciple's life because he's still human, even though he's injured, and follows the immortal. So he breaks the arm, but doesn't kill him, gets the bucket, fills it with the precious water, and gets out. Mission accomplished inside.
So Sha Seng gets the water, signals Monkey King, I assume.
Yep. And the moment Monkey knows Sha Seng has it, he just stops fighting, mid-battle.
Just like that. What does he say to the immortal?
Oh, he lays it out pretty bluntly. Basically, he tells him, "You idiot, it was all a trick."
He really says that.
Pretty much. He boasts, don't talk about being some Rui Zengxian. If there were a few more like you, I'd have killed them all anyway.
Total power move.
Mm-hmm.
But then, the immortal. Does he take the hint?
Nope. Still defiant. Tries one last foolish move. He tries to trip Monkey King again.
Seriously? After all that?
Oh, seriously. Big mistake.
What does Monkey do?
Monkey just effortlessly trips him right back, sends him flat on his face. And then, just to really drive the point home,
Yeah.
he smashes the immortal's prized possession that
The wish-fulfilling hook.
breaks it into 4 pieces. Total humiliation and a final warning. Takes away the source of his confidence.
Wow. Okay, so the physical battle is over. But then the text does something interesting, right? There's a poem.
Yes, right after the fight.
Yeah.
And it seems to suggest there's more to this true water than just, a magical morning after potion. It uses alchemical language.
Alchemy. Like turning lead into gold.
Sort of, but more symbolic here. Let's look at a line. If true lead is refined, it needs true water. True water mixes with true mercury to dry it.
Okay, lead and mercury. What do they usually mean in, Taoist alchemy?
They're often symbols for fundamental forces or energies within the body or the cosmos. Think yin and yang, or core essences that need to be purified and balanced. Refining them creates the elixir, leading to immortality or enlightenment. Spiritual cinnabar and spiritual medicine are immortal elixirs. It's linking the water to creating something spiritually potent. The infant falsely formed a fetal image. The Earth Mother applied its power without difficulty. Push aside side doors, false paths or teachings, and follow the true teaching. The heart-mind returns with a satisfied smile.
So the physical purging mirrors a kind of spiritual cleansing. Getting rid of the false fetus is like getting rid of false ideas or attachments.
Precisely. It adds this whole other layer. It's not just about Pigsy and the monk having really bad tummy aches.
Speaking of which, they finally get back to the village with this powerful true water. What's the scene like?
Well, they find Pigsy still groaning, obviously in a lot of pain.
And Monkey King has a joke ready, I bet.
Of course. He walks in and asks Pigsy, "So when did you check into the maternity ward?"
Always with the jokes.
Yeah.
Do they give them the water right away?
Yes, but here's the thing. They only give them half a cup each.
Just have a cup. I thought Pigsy wanted the whole bucket earlier.
He did. He comically tried to grab the bucket. But the old woman warns him any more than that, and it would literally dissolve their insides.
Whoa. So this stuff is incredibly potent, concentrated. Links back to that elixir idea, maybe?
Definitely feels like it. It's not just regular water with a magical effect. It's presented as something incredibly powerful and condensed.
Okay, so they take the half cup. Is it instant relief?
No, not relief. It's instant action, but it's rough.
How rough?
The text gets pretty graphic. Severe abdominal pain, and then, everything comes out. Both ways, violently.
Yikes. Sounds awful. But that's the cure working.
That's the purging, dissolving that false form. The old woman's ready with chamber pots, thankfully.
So after these episodes, what happens?
After several painful rounds, the pain finally stops. The swelling goes down. And the text mentions Yugeji Blood clots and fleshy masses are expelled. The physical pregnancy is gone.
Okay. Painful, graphic, but effective. How do they recover after that ordeal?
The kind old woman steps in again, gives them simple, plain rice porridge, chikaw, to help them regain some strength.
And Pigsy, I imagine, is starving.
Oh, you know it. He eats a ton. Then he insists on washing up.
Anything wrong with that?
Well, Shaseng warns him against it. He compares it to the postpartum confinement period where you're supposed to avoid washing.
Huh. But Pigsy has an answer for that.
He does. He jokes it was just a miscarriage, not a full birth, so the rules don't apply. He's making light of it in his own way.
Very Pigsy. And Monkey King gets a final jab in about his eating.
Yep. Tells him basically, don't eat so much you get a sandbag belly all over again. Back to his usual form. The old woman asks for the rest of it back.
What does she want it for?
She carefully puts it in a pot, and then she buries it.
Buries it. Why?
She tells her family, this is my coffin. My coffin money.
Her coffin money? The money saved for her own funeral.
Exactly. That's how valuable she considers this leftover water. It's not just useful, it's presented as being worth more than the funds set aside for her own burial. It really drives home that this true water is perceived as something incredibly precious and profound within the story's world.
So finally, they're cured, rested up, they thank the old woman and her family, and they're ready to get back on the road.
Yeah, the journey continues, and the chapter ends with another couplet that kind of summarizes the whole thing.
What does it say?
Wash away karmic mouth sins, and the body is clean. Dissolve the mundane fetus, and the body is natural.